Fight Talk. And boxing heads know my next guest, Derrick James. But in case you don't, he is definitely one of the upcoming and top trainers that I believe in the United States and beyond. You'll probably know his stable, Jamir Charlo, who's 27-0, Robert Brandt, 19-0, and Errol Spence, 19-0. So Robert just came off of an amazing win, a knockout win, and he fought DeCarlo Perez. Is that correct?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Before that, a lot of people were saying that they didn't really believe in Robert's power, his aggression, but since he's been with you, I personally can see like a world of difference. What have you done differently that he wasn't doing before?
Well, I think that, for one, I think that the atmosphere breeds success. I mean, you have Jamil Charlo coming in town saying, I'm going to help you get ready. And then, so he sparred with him for a week. Then Errol sparred with him the next week. And Errol, they went 13 rounds together. And I just probably said, listen, we'll need you to turn on the shots. And if you think about it, that's a word of confidence, a word of boost.
Most definitely.
Jamil come in and Errol sparred with him. And
they
the
were
last,
amazing.
yes, and then the last day's sport was with Alex Salcedo. So you have him spar with this guy, who's another great top guy. And so it's just his mental was so great because you see it, and then we're working on certain shots and just slowing it down mentally, and just so you can just breathe it. And it's all about the angle. So he was always in the right place at the right time, and the guy could never get to him because the guy didn't do a jab.
Right.
So, you know, and the basic thing, so we knew that coming in. And it was great for Robert. I mean, I think it was good for him. The confidence Errol, and what's funny is the day of the fight, Errol texted him. So listen, man, do your job. You work this, you earn this, and just listen to Derrick. Jamel texted him, told him the same thing, basically.
That's so important.
So so it was like he was going into battle with his guy.
Right.
I think that made a big difference also.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it is a team sport, I believe, because you have your corner and you have your stable mates, and they're not in the ring with you, but they are cheering you on, giving you confidence. And I did see a lot more confidence in this fight, personally.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So
I haven't either. He was always very pretty. You know, he knew how to make points, but he was an animal,
right,
and I love to see that because he's a great guy. You know, so I was very, very impressed with him. You're a professional boxer,
yes.
So you've had your hand in boxing.
Yes.
You've also done the promoter side,
yes.
And now you're pretty much doing trainer full time. Is that correct?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, and how do you think being a professional and being a promoter has helped you to this point to become a top trainer?
I think that every aspect of my life, I started boxing when I was basically about 4 or 5 years old. And I've been in boxing. I'm 44 now, so it's like 39 years. And just the ups and downs in boxing. I had a great amateur career. I won 5 national titles. And I had a great, phenomenal trainer. And I think that with what my coach taught me and the experiences that I had when I was in the ring, then the understanding from the business aspect of being a promoter, and my trainer and manager, when he had meetings, he took me with him to help me understand the business. So not just, it's not so much about him doing something, he said, well, I got you a fight. No, he's like, I'm in on the deal too, so it's a partnership. So going into it to help the younger guys understand that this is what it is and the understanding of boxing. And you have 3 great guys, and I work with great management, you know, Al Heyman. And so it's great that these guys understand that they're hard workers, so that's the best part about it. So that's what helps me, and the great students. I think that them knowing that I was a fighter, and them knowing that when I started working on Errol, I was sparring. So what I would do with everybody, I would always spar the guys. My trainer's like, no, you can't do that because you're here to build them up. You can't, you know, whatever. So I was like, okay. And so now it's like, it's all about uplifting the guys. And I'm not a guy that yells at the guy unless he needs that.
Right.
Because I believe that my instruction before the fight is what gets them through the fight. So I tell them what to do. We have 4 or 5 different strategies and step, go to this, go to that, go to this, go to that. I think that's what helps the guys and the confidence to know that I'm prepared. I told Robert before he got in the ring, I said, listen, if you, because I was going to pull him out of the fight. I didn't like how he was looking. But then when Jamel came, when Errol came, you have to be 100% because they'll knock you out.
Right,
you know
for sure.
So you got to be 100%. So it's an uplifting situation. I told him, so listen, had you not looked good with these these guys are sparring, I would have pulled you out of the fight. So what they said to you, you earned this shot. You earned this. You're supposed to be here.
Right.
And I think that, along with the tough training and sparring 13 rounds with EJ, because in sparring with EJ, he'll go 17, 18 rounds sparring. And Robert, when you spar with him, you got to basically do what he's doing.
Yes.
So he's doing 3-minute rounds, 30-second break. You know, so for him to go 13 rounds, EJ said, he's in shape. He's ready. So
and I love that. You said something that if he was not doing well in sparring, you would have pulled him out of the fight.
It's not about the money.
I like that. I admire that because we do talk to other coaches, and it is about the money. They'll just put somebody in there, and they know they're not ready.
Right.
So I think that's so important. You know, we do need to take care of our guys, and the relationship that y'all have is so important as well. I think there's some guys that leave trainers because maybe there was not that good mesh or that good whatever, but it seems that they really trust you, they respect you, and vice versa. I've seen you in the corners in sparring and at fights, and I love what's going on there. It's a great relationship.
Well, you know, in this room, I trained Robert here, and I trained Jamel at the boxing gym. And I had a day, I said, well, Robert, you're not looking as good as I would like you to look. I said, you're early in your career, you built something, we don't want to lose that. Said that you're not looking that great, so I said, you're not going to tell me, I don't know, I got other stuff going on. He had a death in his family, his cousin passed away, so it was bothering him. So you don't have to tell me you want to pull out, because you're a man.
Right.
I'm going to tell you you're not fighting. So that's what he knew going into it. And even though he sparred one day and looked at us, I said, well, so it doesn't matter because you have to build a body of work, and the body of work he had been building was not great.
Yeah, the performance is definitely what says, you know, people can talk and say, oh, I'm ready or I can do this, but if they're not showing it,
in the gym, you're right. So
exactly.
And he wasn't, and so, but I think that once he got there, and I told my wife, I told Nate, I mean, so people knew, I told EJ, I said, because EJ like, man, I'm going to buy my ticket. I said, don't buy your ticket just yet because I got to make sure. I said, we're going to spar with you, and I'm going to push him. And whatever one said, go get him. I said, go get him. Bring it out of him, right? Because you got to bring it out of him. And I told you to go get him. We were like in the 9th round, go get him. Go get him right now. And so to make him, and so, and EJ said, man, I like that you told him that because I was like, I'm gonna put him out. And he was like, that's good. I like to hear that. Because it's not about the money. It's about these guys work their whole lives and issues happen. Life happens.
Yes, it does.
When you plan for one thing, life happens.
Yes.
So I'm just like, if it's not right and it's not adding up, we don't have to do this.
Yes.
So that was my decision, but he looked phenomenal. So now I look back, I'm like, well, maybe that inspired him to work more. But then I think that the combination of Errol and Jamel coming in, it made it topped it off to where he did phenomenal.
And I can say that those three guys, as well as yourself, always humble, you know, always wanting to help. You know, I see them at the local tournaments, especially EJ, you know, supporting the local boxers. And I love that. And I know that there have been other boxers that have come to you and said, hey, you know, will you train me? And you've chosen maybe not to, or you'll do it later. What made you say okay to these guys?
Well, first of all, I think that I never had the idea, like people say you live in a dream. No, I never thought about it. I mean, I never thought that EJ would go to the Olympics. I just never thought of it. I was just doing it.
Yes.
And so when he got there, I said, okay, well, he made the Olympics now, going pro. So I never really think about it. But now I'm thinking about these guys becoming world champions, but these are things that I just work them out.
They don't know the process. They don't know what it took to get there. It's not just like you wake up one day and you've got these three champs, you know.
I mean, and so I think with Jamel, we see each other all the time. So we have been seeing each other on fights, and he said to me, we were at the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, EJ and I, and he likes to try to hang out with us. So he's like, he said, if I ever were to change trainers, I would come to you and I said, hey man, I don't want to get in that. So I just told him, listen, beat me out of that. You know, that's basically what I said. But afterwards, you know, he called me, and it was like months later, he called me, and I said, because I thought I was at the fight.
People talk, you know,
I just said, I don't need the trouble, man. So, you know, we got to get all that cleared away. And so he did call me. He had people call me and ask me what I do. And then he called EJ first, just to get his blessing and talk about it. Then he called me, and I said, yeah, I'm good. But my thing is that I don't want a lot of guys.
Right.
I think that my thing is not to be the richest guy in boxing or whatever, but if you have two guys, everybody watching Errol, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
But if I have 2, 3, 4 other guys and I'm focused on, I can't focus on everybody
Right.
getting the right. So I make sure they don't even train together. They don't even see each other because their time is their time. I don't
Wow,
want,
that's great.
because I mean,
Never thought
I
about
would be
that.
stealing from them.
Right.
Saying, listen, I'm going to give you one thing. I'm going to do this for you, and I'm working for these guys now. Because from training EJ to now working for them.
Right.
And so I just say to myself, I said, listen, I cannot train this guy and that guy. I can't pay attention to him. So when he's hitting the bag, I'm sitting right there next to him, watching. Pick your hand up. Because what happens, we want a perfect body of work. So I can't do that.
That's true.
Then at the same time, we
Makes
be taking
sense.
from Robert. So I trained Robert here. Then I trained EJ at one time, then I'd have Jamel come afterwards, or vice versa.
Right.
Because I said, I don't care if y'all ever see each other. Because it's about you having your time, your quality time. So, like I said, AJ, I told Robert today, I said, you just fought, you look great, but it's a lot of stuff we can work on. So I said to him, I said, these 2 weeks right now is all about fixing everything. Because when you have 4 or 5 weeks later, everything needs to be right. We need to be training for the fight. So this is where we correct everything.
Right.
And so I'm sitting here in that store or at the gym with EJ, pick your feet up, don't cross your feet, don't do this, non-stop. And it's like, you may hate me, you may be mad at me, you may think that I'm not doing anything right, but you are. I just want it the way you want it, because you don't want to get hit.
Right.
So, I mean, so it's just, and I think they appreciate that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great formula. I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
And then with all this training, the one-on-one, and then traveling and everything, how important is it that you have that family support? Your wife, your kids, I mean.
Well, my wife has to be there helping that, 100%.
Yes.
She has to say, I want you to go do your job, and she has to pick the girls up. Normally I wake them up in the morning, I put them to bed at night, but that's when I'm in town. But when I'm traveling, it's all on her.
Yeah,
I have
that's
an
beautiful.
older son who he helps out with the girls also. My 2 sons are 1 14, 1 19. They help out.
That's awesome.
But the older one does the most. So it's a family affair. And EJ's the same way. Robert's the same way. Jamel's the same way. So his brothers now came in the road. His older brother. So everybody's kind of working together.
That's so good. I think it's so important because you hear about so many stories. I have friends that they're having trouble with their wives, or the boxers have women trouble, so that they can't concentrate, they can't do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So to have a supportive wife or girlfriend, I think that is just awesome. I think that helps with the key to success.
It gives the guys a little bit more to know that he can go out and do everything he needs to do because. And not worry about the wife, and not worry about the issues because this is his job.
Most definitely.
And it's always great to have a phenomenal support system.
Yes.
And those kids, the kids are so young or whatever, they understand. But that wife, that father, those people, that's what you really
Well, they have 2 role models to look up to. They see their mother supporting you,
Yeah.
they see you working hard, and they have something to achieve or something to strive for. So I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So the question that I want to know, and I'm sure everybody wants to know, is who do you want to see Errol in the ring with next? What is the dream fight for you?
Well, what's funny is I'm not that guy. And what I mean by that is I want to see him fight who he wants to fight.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the guy to say, I want to see him fight this guy, keep whatever.
Right.
I want him to see, because this is what I always say, this is his career. So I don't want to interject my feelings about what I think into his personal situation. So I want to see him fight who he wants to fight. And I know he wants to fight. My favorite boxer was Juan Marquez, only because of his defensive skills, his counterpunching skills, the way he kept his hands up, and he could be beating you up and never clowning you.
Right.
Always focused. And that goes back to his training.
Right.
And so I had to look at what would this guy do to fight EJ, and I had to go look at Marquez tapes and look at what Don Nacho taught, because the videos of this guy, you couldn't see it, but I was like, he's going to have something perfect with EJ. And when they came out, he was throwing some punches that were just made exactly for EJ. But I had something else. I said, work the angles. And once he worked, did what he did, because you watch the consistency in his fight. So the guys that EJ were fighting were not making him do this or do that.
Right.
But this guy made him have to do that.
It was a great fight.
And so what happened was, once he did it, like, they were not prepared for that because he looked lost once he did what he did. And so that was the end of the fight because they focused so much on one or two things. And he watched the consistency of what EJ did. But that was only because the guys were not making him do that. The perfect style for Errol would be a guy who could push him, because nobody's seen the best of him. Like, I mean, like that, what we see in the gym is phenomenal. Like being pushed, nobody sees that. So I think that once they see that, and they say about the experience level, and everybody's saying he had fought anybody, but listen, it's not that.
I've known him since he was like, 14, 15. He's the real deal.
Right.
He is the real deal.
And so we just let everybody keep saying what they say, keep them out of harm's way.
Right.
And eventually the fights will happen, and he'll be ready. He's ready. I mean, listen, this guy does 16, 17 rounds. I mean, like, and he's doing like many rounds and as many punches in the last round as in the first round.
Yes,
so,
he does.
I mean, it's good.
It is good. It's awesome. Well, we're very excited to see what the future holds. I dare say and make a prediction that you definitely have 3 real champions on your hands. I really do. And I'm glad to see that. I really am. But is there anything that you want to say or a shout out to anybody?
I mean, just shout out to everybody who supports us and who watches the fight and loves everything we're doing. And it's gradually getting bigger. You know, when people say, will you train somebody else? I mean, yeah, maybe, but it's like, I love my life, I love my job, I love what I do with the fighters, and I love going home by 6 o'clock also.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So I don't want to be consumed with this boxing where I think it would be boring.
Right.
So to just only be boxing people, I mean, you want a little bit excitement, a little something going on, so, and family time. So I think that, you know, everything is possible, and I thank everybody for the love and support. Thank you.
Well, you're someone to be admired, and so are your guys. This is Christine Lopez with Global Fight Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.